You know, I was talking about that film the other day about the Killers of the Flower Moon, and you see some of the things that they missed that they could have used, like say diabetes. Just like Ozempic today, it's really a breakthrough for diabetes. Just as back then insulin would be. That would be something to point out that she was one of the first, you know, the tribal person that was in the movie was one of the first to be using that. That would be something to say. Another one would be how to point out basically how people don't have to come out and work for us like the way they did in that movie and take our money from people that don't think that we can use their money the right way. We have, the bank has it divvied out the way we need to use it for health or for travel. We don't need to do that anymore. That should be pointed out. But incompetent to use your own money or to use it wisely, so you would have to have an advisor. And they showed that in the movie, but it wasn't explained. And that's what I'm saying by putting together something that has to do with us. It's like you can't really like focus on what we're going through. You focused on what they were going through with us. And that's what the movie was about. When you get a Native American director, you get an Indigenous director, you get their story, you get their view. And the people that are speaking to them that are Indigenous will also share their view with them more sharingly than they would someone from another culture. Even another tribe sometimes, you know, that's the way it works. Like even me, I'm not in it right now because of my problem that I have in my hip. Doesn't mean where my heart's not at. So like the way I could talk about my experience with what I've done with my film or with an experience I had with my culture, it's wholeheartedly, it's a real story. That's the same with the people that you actually have in your film. They're not just somebody who just wants to look and pose for the camera or sing a song for it sometimes or speak the language, or they allowed you to speak the language, or not you, but an outsider to speak the language, really destroy it too and get away with it. I mean, it's enough to be enamored by it. It's enough to be enamored by the culture and say, well, it's really beautiful to see this still existing and support it and see it being preserved and such and sharing. There's always a story of something or someone that's different from one another. And we just have to point that out, that not all of us are blanketed by one tribe or one experience. We all have many of our own. And that's why we need to tell it on our own, from us, by us. Like I said in a previous video, I might not be the best director or the best filmmaker ever, but what I did was record the people at the best of what they do when it comes to bird singing. So that's a feat that should be shown, to be shown to the people who actually helped do this movie in their own area. But instead we have to talk about a genocide that came from another area years ago, when what we're doing today is still happening. I don't understand that.